Hello everyone and welcome to Banished. I'm Callum and welcome to my town. Welcome to Sin Town. As you can see up there, Sin Town is the name of it. It's pretty... Well, it's not pretty. We'll say that. It's not pretty. It's a mountainous town. It's far on the edge of any reasonable civilization. It's a harsh life here. And despite that harsh life, there is some beauty. We have many fields going on. What's going on here? Ah, production limit. Right, we need a new woodcutter. So, as you can see, it's a very wet, rainy, very changeable town. I think, for now, I will actually turn the time down. Oh, listen to that music. It's lovely. So my banished brethren, my banished citizens, they're struggling. They're making their lives. Just living out their meager existence. And hopefully, depending on how long this video is, depending on if it's just going to be one video or more, we will see this little town, this little Sin town, turn into Sin City. Yeah. So, we'll see how that goes. Right, so, at the moment, just trying to make out a steady food supply, really. We've got all these orchards around. We've got cabbage and bean farms. We're still working on a hunter's cabin. So at the moment, the citizens of Sin Town, they're a vegetarian society. We'll see how far that lasts. They may want some variety, but right now they're not getting it. So, my goal for the moment is to get this bridge done and then build a trading post over here. Oh, as we see some lovely deer crossing the river. So if we get this this trading post done, we can order in some other food, maybe some chocolate, maybe some livestock, just a bit of variety, really. And then hopefully the citizens of Sin Town, they will be a little bit happier because their happiness is actually quite high. It's their healthiness that I have to worry about. So happy and healthy is the goal. We do have fish. So they are pescatarians, these citizens of Sin Town. Our fishermen, the colonel. Very unhealthy there. But then if you're on a diet of just fish, I suppose you would be. So the music in this game is actually pretty grand and sweeping. It's very, I don't know, really. I keep trying to build a path around that. I get a little out of place when I'm building paths. We only have one grave in the cemetery. That's good. It's very grand music for a game like this. Seems like the start of new things. I don't exactly know what kind of time period that this is meant to be set in. Obviously, it's a made-up land, made-up fantasy land, very idyllic. But I don't know, late Middle Ages perhaps. Just sort of get that feel from it. We have a hefty supply of iron over here. I think what I do actually need at the moment is stone, because we do have a lot of iron, a lot of firewood, a lot of logs, but not really much stone. We have a ton of iron over here. So yeah, we'll have to see about that stone shortage, really. Unfortunately, being the rough new world that this is, we don't really have much of a nearby supply of stone. We have this over here that's that we'll mine, but something like a quarry will have to come a lot later. So let's look. We've got a spare labourer. I don't know whether to put them into farming as well as the rest of my citizens, or I don't know really. Let's have a look. We could do with another, maybe another hunter, maybe another fisherman. I don't know. The Colonel seems to be doing quite well by himself as a fisherman. We'll leave whoever that is to be unemployed, the only unemployed person in the entire village, and they can, just choose what they want, really. I may have a use for them later on, but I see we have a steady supply of food now. Though that may change come spring. It's actually not winter that I'm worried about. Winter seems like the harshest season when you first start out, but spring is a lot worse. You've run out of all your food supplies, you've used it all for the winter. And I think the citizens actually do eat a lot more in the winter. So yeah, spring's a tough one. Yeah, Sin Town is very prone to these horrific rainstorms. Pretty awful life at the moment. But, we've got a fishery, we've got orchards, we've got a school, we've got a cemetery. Life is good. Life is slow, but life is good. So we only have one person in the cemetery, but lots of people actually keep coming by to see whoever it was that died. I do kind of wish that you could actually see whose grave that was. So here we descend into the deep depths of winter. And we have a few construction projects going on at the moment. We have our herbalist to keep our citizens healthy. We have our hunting cabin. We have that bridge as we saw earlier, and in the centre of town we have our blacksmith, because we got a steady supply of iron, but we don't really have anything to do with it. So I think I'll unpause that so that we can actually get some tools. So our firewood supply is running a bit low at the moment, which is a bit worrying during the winter. So I really love the pace of this game. It's not something like you'd see with things like RTS games where you'd be usually building up your resources and things to wipe out an enemy. It's a sim game. It's more along the lines of something like SimCity or Tropico, but it's a lot slower paced. I like it. You can just sit back, relax, watch the lives of your villagers go by, and because there aren't really that many villagers to start off with, and really throughout most of the game, you really do want to keep them alive, keep them healthy, and keep them happy, because you don't really have many to go with. So every life is precious in this game, you could say. We'll see if we can find a job for that extra labourer. Where are they? Only a few citizens, but I do lose track of them. Oh, there they are. Euston. Or Houstone. Houstone. It's cold and finding someplace warm. So he doesn't have a job at the moment. So hopefully we can rectify that. You know, for the moment, actually, I'll make him a builder. Because we see these construction projects going on. We only actually have one builder on at the moment. We have Vasidi toiling away. I don't really know what's happening over at this cemetery. Just a lot of people keep milling about. So as I said, it's a slower paced game. It's a really great looking game as well. You get the sort of sense of like a frontier. I'm just gonna go around the map here. About this frontier place. It's harsh, but it's beautiful. And if you can live in it, you will have a great time if you survive. But that surviving part is the important thing. So we see a lot of villagers at the moment. They don't really have much to do because their farms have all been harvested. So I guess the only place to go is the graveyard. Sure, why not? As a leisure activity, maybe not the best, but really there isn't really much choice, to be honest. I should really build up a tavern at some point, but don't have anyone spare that I can actually use for it. So we'll wait until one of the children is older. We do actually have 4 students at the schoolhouse at the moment. So once one of them comes out, or one or two of them come out, because we need a blacksmith as well. We can't have them fulfilling both roles. We can't have a drunk blacksmith on our hands. So yeah, we'll wait until we have another couple of students out, and then one of them can run their own tavern, become an intrepid business owner, a venture capitalist in this idyllic town. The Colonel, working through wind or snow or rain, tirelessly, against the raging depths. Alright, brilliant. So we have 2 builders now. We have Calvia, and we have Vasidi working together. Because we need new homes. We need new homes so that new families can spring up and give some more life to this town. Make it a hustling, bustling place. You can hear the hammer and the saw. There we go. So we have a new house. No occupants at the moment, but oh yeah, there we go. See, these houses do get filled very quickly. We now have Cleaver, who is our hunter. Very, very appropriate name there. And we have Kindle. I would hope that Kindle would be our firewood cutter. But alas, we can't have it that both ways. We can't have a double pun living in the house. And I know in this game that you can actually build through... you can build a lot of wooden houses, and you can actually build a boarding house as well for the homeless people. I may build a boarding house if our population runs away too far, but I doubt that will happen. So I build stone houses despite my stone shortage, just because they're a lot easier to heat up. Generally easier to maintain. They don't cost as many resources in the long term. In the short term, they certainly do. They certainly are cheaper. But in the long term, the stone houses will win out. However, my chronic stone shortage at the moment may force me to build in stone. I don't really know what's going on at this graveyard. You'd think surely that they could go and play in the forest or something. Oh well. And as we descend from late winter into early spring, the trees are back in bloom. Well, most of the trees. The evergreens are back in bloom. They never really stopped. The town is getting warmer. It's now up to 2 degrees, 1 degree. The rain is back. I am afraid so I spoke too soon. So we'll soon see the bright colours of new life and new dawn as we enter our 6th year of the Banished, being banished. I don't know if anything's ever going to come out telling me why they are banished. As far as I know, there isn't really anything to explain it. You just have to accept that these are a few families that have been banished from the world, or banished from their homelands, and now they're living out a meager life on the frontier. So we're going to build some wooden houses, I've decided. Simply because, well, we need the new houses for new citizens, but stone houses, we just don't have the stone, I'm afraid. And we can actually, we do have a lot of forest around, so we could build another firewood chopper and make sure that everyone is nice and warm. So we'll do that, and then maybe later on in the future we'll demolish these wooden houses and then replace them with stone ones. Maybe. Although I'd hate to see people evicted from their homes. So this is what I do. I build, you can see it, this storage barn being planned out here. And this game has a lot of things where you don't really have to, unless you're on some of the higher difficulties, you don't really have to react as quickly as in other games. So you can plan ahead a lot. You can actually see your city grow and fill the boots that you set out for them. You can actually build out across the entire space and then just set it out, let everything play out before you, and then essentially micromanage your people, because all the building projects will be done. I don't know how I feel about going that far into it, but I do like to have a little bit of an idea of where my town is going. You can see Kindle working. So our tool is broken. Oh, everyone's tools are broken. So this is what happens when it starts in the planting or harvesting season. A lot of the farmers, they actually fulfill the role of labourers. So they're just general citizens who just work through anything that needs to be done, really. Just chopping down trees. We can hear the chopping of trees, actually. Chopping of trees, just mining. Oh yes. We have Calvia out being a hunter. Mining iron, working on building projects, just doing anything that needs to be done for the town. So it's really nice to have a small stock of labourers throughout the off seasons. I'll see if I can build a road around here. I don't believe I can. No, I can't. I like having my roads surround the fields, but alas, we're not that lucky. So I'm just casually planning ahead here, really. Seeing where my roads can go, seeing what I can build here. So it's a weird influence, but what actually attracted me to this game was a few years ago I actually really loved playing through the black and white games. So especially the second one. The first one was a lot more focused on the people and religion and your creature, but the second one you can actually get into the nitty-gritty of city building, and it's a lot like this, really. You can absolutely micromanage your town and your population with a few magic powers, a few godly powers thrown in, but generally it's just sort of this kind of thing. It's just making sure that your citizens are happy and healthy and they love you. Obviously without the god aspects of it, but this certainly has the same sort of atmosphere, and it's a lot slower paced, really. You don't have to build up armies, even though we have the colonel. In another life, maybe he'd be leading an army onto a battlefield, but here he's a fisherman, and I like that. I like that he's not being constrained by his name into one job or another. So we have Darrelly, our new labourer. A general labourer, actually. Not one that will just be a labourer in the off-season. So when this blacksmith shop gets finished up, Darrelly will become our new blacksmith. Oh, we have a giant piece of iron in the middle of the road. But before that, we actually need my villagers to actually finish their building project, and that's one thing that I kind of it's one thing that I like and I also dislike about the game, is that the citizens' behaviour, you can't control them directly in any measurable way. You just have to sort of guide their hands and hope for the best. So you can set them into their roles, and you can sort of guide them along their way through good town management and good road planning. But they'll do their own thing. They'll do it at their own whims. They do have free will. So often that can result in a bit of frustration. Oftentimes they really slack off and don't harvest anything nearly as quick as you think or as you hope. And the same goes for building. They build incredibly slowly, unless you have a lot of builders. And there's no real way to prioritize building projects. But at the same time that it's frustrating, I like it. It's it really sort of cements that these people are people, really. They're not just mindless drones working for you. And like I said, every one of them is precious. Because for the good majority of any game of this, you really won't have enough citizens to fill all the roles in the game. So you have to juggle them a bit and have to make sure that your population is up to scratch before you go on these vast building projects. even if you have the resources, it's the people that's the most important aspect of things. So we have a new child, Casiello. Casiello. Interesting name. We have 5 students in the schoolhouse. Our future class, hopefully coming out to be educated in the ways of their town, and in the ways of becoming a good citizen, a good hard-working citizen. And they will be the future generations that will guide Sin Town onto greater things. So it's called. I've called it Sin Town, but really at the moment, it's not much of a Sin Town, is it? It's very nice. It's very peaceful. I suppose that might change once we've got the tavern set up. We'll see a stark change in the people. They'll all become drunken layabouts. But for now, Sin Town is dwelling in its innocence. Very wet and windy innocence. We're in the middle of summer and we have these horrific rains going on. So 25 degrees. It's our current temperature. Somewhere along the line, we're gonna invest in a tailor, so that our citizens won't have to wear one set of clothing all year round. That may be a bit unhygienic. So we'll help them out. We'll give them some better clothes. And speaking of hygiene, speaking of running water, or not running water actually, we'll if I can find it, we'll get a well going, because as it said in the description, it puts out fires, but it's also a nice little bit of aesthetic beauty to add to the town. I know that we've got all this lush greenery around, but I don't think cabbages work as well as this. Just for sprucing the place up, really. So I don't know where to put it, really. I don't know whether. So there's two places that we'll put it, there or there maybe, or just around here. But I think we'll put it on the corner here, just outside of the schoolhouse, because really, if the schoolhouse goes down, then I believe the town will go with it, because that's our centre of learning. And it'll be more of a cultural death, or the death of potential, rather than an outright death. But it'll be a death nonetheless. And in this game, death is something that you really don't want. It's more of a celebration of life that you want. Our citizens are working hard. So let's see our other building projects. Again, stone. So this is what you do. You ask your villagers kindly to collect this stone, and if you're lucky, they may actually obey you. So any labourers will come and mine this stone, or if you have any miners, if you have any stone cutters, they'll specialise, and they'll only go after stone. This boulder is really annoying me here, so I'm gonna take it out. And then they'll bring it back to these little stockpiles here, ready for whatever is going to be their use in the future. So we have a lot of firewood, we have a lot of iron. We're actually running low on logs now. We need some woodcutters. And we do have a lot of wood. So let's chop down the stuff that's immediately outside the village. Because as pretty as it is necessary to our cause. And you know, we can actually, you know, replant some trees later on in the game. Spruce it up a bit. What I am waiting for at the moment actually is the developer. They're actually releasing a set of mod tools soon, so maybe later on down the line. I keep trying to build houses, but I really shouldn't. I should stop myself. Yeah, maybe later on down the line we'll play with some mod tools, because what I'd really like to see is a lot more buildings, aesthetic features, as well as new buildings. I'd really like to see some windmills come up to complement these farms. And I'd love to see I'd like to make a park, which, well, I guess you can do. You can't really do it to much the same degree as just plopping down an area and saying this will be a park. So as we zoom in here, we have the citizens working hard on our blacksmith shop. A new building to join our growing town. Let's see about our citizens. Still the same amount of citizens, but we do have a couple new newborns. So we have 6 new students. Well, not new students, but certainly rising potential within them. So we're in autumn now. We do have a lot of food stockpiled. I'm feeling good about this winter, I'm gonna say. I feel good about the citizens of Sin Town actually working together to brace through the winter, as well as the coming spring as well. We shall soon have an abundance of tools that people can use, because at the moment everyone's tools are kind of falling apart. I've used up the stockpile of tools given to me at the start of the game. I'm really now getting into the stage where I need new tools for the people just to sustain their way of life. They can't go back to using rocks. They've come too far now. So we're just still waiting on a bit of one last bit of stone for our bridge. I really like the presence of all these deer. I'm not sure whether you can actually get other animals in the game in the wild. You could certainly build shelters for other animals like cows and pigs and sheep, but you won't really find them out in the wild. So maybe in future updates we will see other animals come into play. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this game pans out. It is actually a full release at the moment, but the developer has said that he's going to be one guy created this game, which is pretty spectacular. Our Hunter's Lodge, hunting cabin, is actually being built as well. Slowly but surely. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what comes up in future updates, and I'll let you know if anything major comes out. For now, our blacksmith shop is getting near to completion. We'll see a new set of tools to come out and replace our builders' tools. I'm sure they'll be happy to see that. As well as our farmers. You really don't want to be toiling the hard earth when you've got a broken tool. So at the moment we have valleys and we have mountains. They're mostly the same in terms of their terrain. We have it's snowy forests really, but it's just how flat they are that really separates the two types. So I don't know whether the game's aesthetic could support things like desert terrains or anything like that. We'll certainly see how the development goes. So, our blacksmith is now completed. Our blacksmith shop. The only thing it needs now is a blacksmith to fill it. So, there we go. So our one blacksmith, Calvia, the labourer who became a blacksmith. Finally, she has a job. Finally, he has a job. Finally, he has a job. And really, that's just the focus of the game. Really, you look after your citizens. You make sure that they're clothed, that they're fed, that they're healthy. You look after them, and you see them flourish, and you see their town flourish, and you see a great society, the beginnings of a great society, come together, all in your hand, and the hands of your citizens. So, you're not a builder, and you're not a leader. You're just a guide, really. So that's been Banished. If you want a slower paced sim where the lives of your citizens are always at the forefront of your mind, and you're always ecstatic to see them succeed against the wilds. If you want to see man versus nature in a very simplistic, maybe not a direct way. It's not a violent game. It is by no means an action game. It's a microcosm of life, really. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more from Banished, let me know. I would certainly love to do a series on the game. A short series, perhaps. It doesn't really bode well for a longer one. So, I've been Callum, and this is Banished. Thank you very much.